Now, if you would ask me, what is the one thing that lends most credibility to UFO cases and UFO videos on the internet, I would probably say it's multiple angles. Whenever we get videos on the internet surfacing where we have multiple angles of the same object, it just gives us more data and it allows us to analyze that particular sighting from various angles, and with that gets a little bit more credibility. Now, to be honest with you, that's not often the case, and that is why the Jerusalem UFO is even these days considered by many as one of the most credible sightings of all time. Now, if, for example, here I found this tweet by Jack Keel, who has 17,000 followers on Twitter. That's many more than I have. Follow me on Twitter. Okay, links in the description. And he says, if I had a top 3 probably authentic UFO clips, these Jerusalem clips would be in it. There's a lot to be taken away from the different angles, which is a rare occurrence. What's with the flash coming from the ground just before the UFO shoots off? Defensive capabilities, right? Like, he's speculating quite a lot here. And I'm going to play this clip for you guys. Now, this particular clip is absolute garbage potato quality. You know what? I'm going to go full screen to at least get the most of it. But in a minute, we're going to look at a sharper clip. I have a separate clip, but the good part about this particular clip is that someone synchronized all 4 recordings of it. So again, the Jerusalem UFO sighting is a series of 4 videos, you see all of them here, that allegedly show the same object hovering over an Islamic shrine known as the Dome of the Rock on Jerusalem's Temple Mount. And you'll notice now, here's the light, right? It hovers over the city. Again, we get these 4 angles. It moves ever so slightly. And this has been filmed from different angles around the city. And there was the flash. Did you see this, right? So it flashes up, flies back up, back into space or whatever, shoots up at irrational speed, which totally excludes, I don't know, balloons or some kind of flare drops or a drone. It can't be that. The video was filmed and uploaded to YouTube in late January, I believe, 2011. And it was allegedly filmed at 1 a.m. in the middle of the night. And I remember when this clip came out, it really went viral on the internet. Everyone was talking about it. But quite quickly, people noticed a bunch of red flags. So I want to point those out to you guys. And then again, we're going to look at a better version of one of those clips and analyze it in a bit more detail. Now, let's go through the red flags first. First of all, till this day, nobody knows who took the footage. Okay, and I can see your arguments. You can say, well, you know, if I film a UFO and I don't want to lose my job over that, right? People will ridicule me, whatever it was. I might expose myself to be ridiculed and have real-life consequences by talking about having filmed a UFO. But 4 people, 4 separate people who filmed this from 4 different angles and nobody comes forward? I mean, you are the first person in the world that captured an alien spacecraft over Jerusalem and you're posting it anonymously to YouTube, right? Why don't you send it to like CNN? Why don't you send it to MSNBC or some kind of Reuters or whatever, like some big news organization, to at least give it a little bit of credibility if you think it would be real? But no, whoever created it or whoever filmed it uploaded it to YouTube. Also, Jerusalem, and I don't need to tell you this, is a hyper-urban area. Is that a word? It's a very urbanized area. There's 1 million plus people living there, even back in 2011. So it's a very, very busy place. And even if it happened at 1 a.m. at night, nobody else captured it. We only get 4 captures. And beyond that, no other witnesses came forward, right? It's not that people said, oh, I couldn't get my phone out quick enough or my camera. I didn't capture it, but I saw it. There are no other witnesses. And keep in mind, right, this object allegedly hovered over the Dome of the Rock, right? That is like a major tourist attraction in Jerusalem. It's a religious pilgrim point, right? It's a point where a lot of religious tourists goes, and you can assume that there will always be people around there, even at 1 o'clock at night. It wouldn't be that it's completely deserted and empty. Even it is great that we get 4 different angles. It is equally suspicious that it is only 4 angles and that no other witnesses came forward. Now, this case was also featured on the History Channel in one of their many UFO shows, and they consulted this guy that you just saw here. What's his name? I think it's Michael. Oh yeah, Michael Primo, and he's like a software analyst, and he did some software media interrogation, and he noted that there's insufficient digital information in the footage, which means that the metadata has been tampered with, hence it's been pushed through some editing software. So the video that we're seeing here is not the original. It has been tampered with in some shape or form. And then later he also used another piece of software that used what you see here, some so-called macro block visualization, which also showed that the light gradients that come from the UFO have not been in the original recording. So he concluded that the video is not authentic. But it gets better, guys. And this is really where I want to focus your attention on, okay? Because now we're going to look at this slightly higher res clip that gives us a lot more information than we previously were able to see. Also, there's audio, so I'm going to play the audio for you guys as well. And please, watch this video, okay? And let me know in the comments what your initial responses are. Is there anything odd that you notice about this video as it unfolds, as it plays? Leave it in the comments before I unpack it in the review and the verdict afterwards, all right? Check this out. So there is the dome, which by the way is a golden dome, okay? So it's highly, highly reflective.
Is that UFO? Amazing. Holy shit. Oh, is that cool?
Okay, we're zooming in.
You can almost hardly look at it.
We've seen them in Mississippi like this, but never like never like this.
So there's a little bit of a crowd reaction there, right? People are like, is that a UFO? I don't know why they have like a Southern American accent sitting somewhere in Jerusalem. You know, it might be tourists. That's not something that takes away from the credibility necessarily. However, the amazing thing about this video, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I did not notice it the first time I watched it, okay? This is not an actual recording, okay? In the sense that someone took a camera and filmed something. What this is, and once you know it, you cannot unsee it, okay? This is an artificial camera wobble imposed over a photo. And I even found the original photo. It is literally taken from Wikipedia. Okay, so when you go to Wikipedia, you can find this particular image of the Dome of Rock. And I mean, they brighten it up a little bit, right? They played with the saturation and the brightness, but it is clearly like, I mean, just compare the lights, right? Like 1, 2, 3 lights here with the 2 on top in the background, 1, 2, 3 with the 2 in the background, the bright lens flare light here with 2 on the left of it, the bright lens flare light here with 2. You can compare it yourself. I'm not going to do this for all of the lights, but it's pretty clear that it is just a photo. And this is actually genius, right? Because you don't need to do any tracking of a light like this UFO to match it to like irrational camera movement, which we've seen in the past is often off, right? That's where you see it because it's not perfectly mapped. And then you see that the object moves slightly off from the camera movement, and that always gives away that it's fake. But you don't need to do this here because you take a static photo, you animate the light on it, then make it shoot up into the sky, and then afterwards you add the artificial camera wobble. And I just find this amazing. I had never seen this before. I mean, I've seen other cases where I feel that might have been the case. But again, you can kind of see it because even lens flares like this would behave slightly different if you actually zoom over them with the camera. They might flare up a little bit. They move a tiny bit. So it's a genius trick. I'm not going to lie. It really sold it at the time. Also note that this object has, everyone's like, it's so bright, right? It's incredibly bright, but it does not have a reflection on this highly reflective golden dome that sits right underneath. So the guys got a little bit sloppy. Now I have to assume that this guy actually filmed this off a screen, okay? Because you can, especially in the zoom in here, see the pixelation, right? See these little stripy effects that you get when you're filming something off a screen. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. So I don't think he artificially imposed it necessarily afterwards in After Effects. You know, it's much easier. Again, it saves a lot of time. If you're filming it off a screen, you get the natural wobble of the camera. And the advantage of it is that the original image is huge. It's got a fairly wide angle. So if you put that on full screen, on a big screen, you should be able to get a little bit of leverage because you can see in the very beginning, right, he or she is like filming the bottom of it, like pretending to film some of the streets underneath and then pan up onto the actual Dome of the Rock. So the pixelation you see here is just another dead giveaway that the whole thing is a hoax. Also, someone pointed out that you can actually hear like cuts in the audio at 15 seconds, at 25 seconds, and 31 seconds. I didn't do this before, so let's go. This is second 15. I will go back a little bit to second 13 maybe, and let's play this and listen to the audio. Can we hear like an audio cut here?
I'd say that too.
Yeah, the click. Do you hear this? Like the high pitched, like a little click. That always indicates like an audio cut. And then at 25, there's also an audio cut. Let me see, let me go back a little bit. We're at 23 now. Oh yeah, brutal cut there as well. Good spot. And then there's also a one at 31. Let's check this out as well.
Hardly look at it.
Oh yeah, another one. Okay. Again, I'll link all these videos and references down in the description. You can go check it out yourself. But dude, also, and this is kind of the last thing, which is completely ridiculous. If you remember the first video, it had like a bright flash, right? Before it shot back up into the sky, bright flash, boom, and then it shoots up. They forgot the flash here. So I have to assume that this was not all edited by the exact same guy. Probably it was a bunch of CGI artists and they were like, you know what, we just bring down this UFO and it hovers over that particular location and it's just a bright light and, you know, that's what it is. You do your thing and maybe we do a little flash, and it looks like one of the guys actually forgot to put the flash in. So there's no flash in this particular clip while it does flash in the other ones. So it's completely ridiculous. I don't understand, considering that this information has been out there for a while, that people still consider it to be real. I mean, one simple Google would solve this and give away that it's nonsense, that it's clearly a hoax. So I'm giving it a ginormous debunk. Okay, because that's what it is. There's no way, after everything we just went through, that anyone would still believe that this is authentic. So I guess the lesson to learn here is, just because we get several angles of a sighting, it does lend credibility to it, but it doesn't automatically mean that it's real, okay? People can fake this stuff. And people often have other friends, if they're into CGI, other friends that are also into CGI. And they might sit down and say, you know what, we do this thing. We want to have something that creates a little bit of internet and pop culture and just another credible UFO video. So we create something like this together and just create a little bit of a viral sensation, which very successfully worked with this case. But guys, leave your thoughts on this down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash the like button. You can subscribe for more. You can also join our Discord. The link to that is in the description. Share all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate you being here. As always, take care of yourselves. And I'm out. Bye.